Howdy, I'm Lara. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna just give you a little breakdown of my new song called Haven that is out. Special shout out to Max, Anna, and Michael for playing the lovely strings on this record. To Brian Calhoun for mastering this album, or excuse me, this single, this record as well. Not an album, but eventually. Yeah, I just if you have any questions about anything that you see or hear in this quick session breakdown, feel free to reach out with any questions, and I'd be happy to shed any more light on anything I can within the session and the creation process of it. So yeah, I'm going to probably be doing more of these as more music comes out. This was fun just to do something quick and dirty, hold my camera. Maybe the lighting and all the production will get better with it down the road, but it's pretty run and gun right now. So yeah, but anyways, hope you enjoy it and rock on. It all started with this little riff right here. Then add some cello lines, doing a couple counter melodies, starting to build chord structure. And then we add the violin line, which really lifts it a lot. Then take the main viola line, and I sent it to the sequential circuit Rev 2. Created a new patch by just pressing the 2 transpose button and hold. Just creates a basic sawtooth wave, and then worked on designing the sound here. At this phase, once we had the string parts written, started to write some piano parts. For the string recording session, we ran all the mics through this Studer mixer. The preamps sound absolutely amazing. For recording the baby grand piano, we use these 2 Mojave 201 FET microphones for the close mics. And then I have 2 of these Audio-Technica microphones set up behind and in front up there up on top of the library. These are capturing the room sound. Here are the piano parts recorded. A little bit of compression at the tail end. There was compression going to tape as well. Record the chord parts more on these guys, and then more right-hand melody oriented stuff on separate tracks. So I have a little bit more control because I'm not the best player. The strings have been recorded, comped, and mixed, and here they are now real. Big difference from the virtual strings, right? They're just the room mics by themselves. There are 3 bass layers in the quartet movement. First is my trusty Korg MS-20. Beautiful triangle waves, very clean sounds. The filter is just amazing. I love this thing. So that's layer number 1. And then we have the Juno 106 that is doing more of the wide and low mid texture and tone, and then another Rev 2 bass pad run through a GFI pedal, this guy. It's getting kind of like a Blade Runner feel there. So that makes up all of the bass parts. Combination of me attempting to sing that has a lot of auto-tune and reverb on it to try to make up for my not so great singing voice, and then I took some other female vocals from other random sessions that I've worked on and chopped them up and distorted and reverbed them out. So those are right here. Those are printed. For movement 2, took the string quartet and just started adding production and beats and so forth around it. Here's what we got. So here are all the strings. And got creative and ran them through this amazing plugin right here called Motions by Arturia. Program some synths and pigments. An OB6 bass. The drum layers, kick, rim, hi-hat pattern 1, another hi-hat pattern there, some glitchy Foley percussion, and then a tonal verb synth here. That's just a 16th note synth happening at a C sharp. A fun little note on these hi-hats is I'm using multipass and I'm using 2 LFOs. LFO number 1 is being sent to the mix parameter of a 30-second note delay plugin, and that's working on just the high frequency content up here. So it's really not ever the same. You're gonna hear moments and instances where you're gonna hear those 30-second notes just a little bit more and creating a little bit more depth of field. And then this LFO is being routed to the band itself. And you can see the orange line is moving. So the band is modulating as well to just create really just a musical and very alive hi-hat experience. So yeah, love doing this stuff and just adding subtle variations and modulation of frequencies. So I mix pretty much everything in the box, but I do have a hybrid tuba setup. First and foremost, it comes in here. Actually, where am I going first? I'm going into my don't mind the baby monitor. I'm going into a DEQ1 by Inward Connections. Amazing mastering equalizer, kind of like a Manley Massive Passive. And then it comes into a DCL 200 analog compressor. And I so often will run a pretty slow attack and a pretty fast release with the slope anywhere between 2 to 4, but it really just depends. And then it goes in this SSL Fusion, and I'm also sending everything out of this Burl Summit mixer here. So yeah, pretty fun stuff. And then it comes back into tape. After the analog setup, the mix comes back into the box, and I just have a couple plugins that are on my master bus. This is for harmonic saturation. I really like this guy. And then this Ampex. I've been using this for over 10 years on everything. And then a Pro L2. And that's where my LUFS level is at, 17. I mix pretty low, so I let the master engineer, Brian Calhoun, shout out. He mastered this record, amazing. He has a bit more room to work with. And then also wanted to point out, in the quartet, in the first movement, I added a cinematic rooms to the master bus. As you can see here, the mix is super, super low. It's like at 5%, and it just gives the entire mix a very subtle, warm hug. So that's that. Great times. Hope you enjoyed the little breakdown. There's Sky, over and out. Thank you for your time with my music. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Rock on, and hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.